So this is going to be a short chat with Champian Fulton and Klas Lindquist. I just released a record on Yellow Car Records, and this record is called Handle with Care. It's a quartet jazz album, and it is produced by Champian.
Yes.
So we are about to talk about this, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so. Okay.
So as a producer, what was your role?
That's a really, I think, kind of a tough question.
Because
it's a big role.
Yes.
So I think, first of all, like, what happened was the idea for the record was sort of my idea. Because we met last year, and I noticed that Klas needed some, in my opinion, more quartet albums in your discography. And I had this idea for sort of a mood record, which it changed a little bit from my original idea, because my original idea really was a ballad album.
Yeah.
And it shifted from that into more of a mood record with some more tempos. And actually, with the idea came the title.
Yes.
About 1 year ago. The Handle with Care title came before any of the tunes or anything else. And so that was sort of the beginning of my producing credit, I think.
Yes.
But then the interesting thing is, actually, we should tell them, it was recorded in Stockholm, and I wasn't in Stockholm when you were recording.
True.
So you guys would go into the studio, which is a church, Abrahamsberg Kyrkan.
Right.
Wow. And you would record, and then at the end of the day, you would send me, like, what they might call in the movie business, like, the dailies.
Yeah.
Like, I would get everything.
Yes.
And then I would listen to it kind of right away.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then give feedback, as if I were there in the booth.
Yes. Yes. So the recording was actually divided in 2 different sessions.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what was your, like, thoughts after hearing the first session?
The first session was really good. The first thing I noticed, I'm just going to be honest.
Totally.
First thing I noticed was I thought the tracks were super short, like 3 minutes.
I remember that.
Maybe 4 minutes on the outside.
And then you came with the famous
phrase,
stretch out.
Because I think jazz records, my favorite jazz records, like Dexter Gordon records, Lou Donaldson records on Blue Note, Miles Davis records on Prestige, the tracks are long by today's standards, I think. And the musicians take adventurous, kind of exploratory solos. Because if you're not a jazz musician, maybe you don't know, but, like, your first chorus or your second chorus of your solo can be kind of conservative, I'd say. Unless you kind of planned it out, you've done it a million times. But it's after, like, a few choruses that you kind of start to really play and have fun. And so the first thing I said was that those tracks almost all needed to be redone. And I told you and Leo to stretch out.
Yes.
And just play and not worry too much about length.
Yes.
Yeah.
So what about the tunes that we recorded? How much were you engaged in that? Choosing tunes?
I think I made several suggestions.
Yeah, like, for example,
Sweet Pumpkin was
my
suggestion.
And also
Man with the Horn was my suggestion.
True.
The other tunes.
Besides that, I think we were communicating a lot.
We were communicating. You were like, what about
Prelude
to a Kiss? And your arrangement on Prelude to a Kiss we discussed. And then also your arrangement on
Cry Me a River. Yes.
I was sort of with you from the beginning.
You dug it right away.
Yeah.
But you also suggested it to go into 4/4, for example.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember. So we kind of worked on the music, I think, quite a lot.
Yes.
Even remotely.
Yeah.
Which is a lot of FaceTime.
Yes.
And a lot of Dropbox links.
Yes.
That's kind of how we did the whole thing.
Yes. And then, to me also, I think just coaching me through the whole process has been very...
With the stretch out comments.
Well, overall, like, have someone to feel you share all your thoughts with,
I think that's the hardest thing when you're making a record, like, by yourself as a musician, is not having someone to bounce your ideas off of that you trust. Like,
nowadays, I think musicians tend to release their own records, and they are all by themselves through the whole process, and also put all this money in it, and to me it felt really good to have one like you, who is so experienced, also have done so many records and know how it is, how tough it could be, and how self-criticism can also destroy some of it, unless you're, because that I think you helped me there too.
And I think there's a million things on your mind when you're in the studio.
Yeah.
The piano tuner, lunch breaks, the guys are late or not late, but I mean, you know, the engineers, this is that. It's noisy, it's not noisy, it's cold, it's hot. You have somebody taking pictures, you don't. Like, so many things in your mind. It can be hard to focus on just the music and the art. And I was trying to help keep that as a focus for you, for the
supporting
guys.
Through the process.
Yeah.
So I guess that's it, huh?
Yeah.
Is it?
But then I got to be I mean, I was also involved with like the end of it, picking the takes.
Yes.
Picking the order. I think I was kind of firm on some of the ideas about the order.
Oh yes, it should end with.
Oh yeah, Come Sunday I think is a great closer.
Yeah.
And the packaging and everything I got to be involved. So it was really fun. So I feel like, but that's why it's hard to really say what I did. I did a lot.
Yes.
And now still doing some stuff.
Well, you
with
do
promotion
actually.
and
yes.
So it's been really fun, and I have really enjoyed it because up until now I've only produced my own albums. And this has been kind of a new experience and a new challenge. So I really enjoyed it. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Listen to Handle with Care.
Yes.
Out now everywhere.